Aloha, liebe SpieleFlut-Surfer, hier ist Amano und ihr seid mit mir wieder zurück im Spiel The Stanley Parable, die Stanley Parabel. So, jetzt gehen wir dann auch durch die linke Tür, so wie das Spiel es möchte. Werden wir jetzt wenigstens gelobt? Nein. Jetzt vielleicht? Nein. Na gut, dann nicht. Weiß, hell, weiß, dunkel.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to. I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Doppelte Verwirrung. Also, was gerade passiert ist, weil ich rechts reingegangen bin, habe ich das Spiel durcheinander gebracht. Bin dann zwar links reingegangen, dadurch war das ganze Spiel kaputt. Ich habe einen mega Anschiss von dem scheinbar dem Spielentwickler und dem Game Designer eingeholt. Das Spiel war kaputt, er musste es runterfahren, hat nicht ganz funktioniert. Dann war alles kaputt. So, und irgendwie bin ich jetzt wieder hier am Anfang, was, ich weiß jetzt gar nicht, ob das so gewollt ist, weil das war mitten im Satz. Okay, da wir das nicht nochmal haben wollen, gut, gehen wir durch die linke Tür.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, wir haben jetzt das getan, was der Erzähler von uns möchte, und mittlerweile wissen wir auch, dass der Erzähler quasi der Spielentwickler ist. Und wir sollen also definitiv das tun, was in seiner Story des Spiels seine Hauptfigur auch getan hätte. Als echter Mensch, weil sonst geht das Spiel kaputt. Wie wir gesehen haben, geht es ja wirklich kaputt. Hier war alles durcheinander, wir kamen nicht weiter. Das ist alles dasselbe. Gut, naja gut, dann fürs Erste verhalten wir uns so, wie es von uns erwartet wird. Was haben wir sonst noch Interessantes hier stehen? Was wollen Leute? Happiness? Nein, ist durchgestrichen. Money, more money. Und Sachen, die wir mit dem Geld kaufen können. Okay. Gut, hier läuft also eine Flipchart-Präsentation durch, auch wenn ich den Beamer nicht sehe. Die ist an sich sehr lustig. Also was heißt sehr lustig? Das ist ein bisschen übertrieben, aber die ist halt schon lustig. Aber ich werde es euch jetzt hier nicht Folie für Folie übersetzen. Da, ich denke mal, da wird der Witz auch ein bisschen verloren gehen. Gut, egal. So, bevor ich jetzt so ewig hier mich an diesen Folien verliere, weil das macht nämlich eigentlich Spaß. Aber, wenn ihr euch das Spiel dann kauft, ja, dann könnt ihr ja hier selbst vorstehen. Ja, und wir gehen mal weiter. Hier ist der Broom Closet, wo eigentlich noch jemand drin war, wie wir gerade gelesen haben, aber gut. Scheinbar nicht.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ja, downstairs geht ja auch nicht, also upstairs. Dann gehen wir noch mal. Vielleicht finden wir unseren Boss ja. Schick. Rechts, links, keine Ahnung. Alles ist zu, alle Türen sind zu. Kann ich das lesen, das grüne Fallblättchen da? Zumindest erkennen. Nee, springen, bevor ihr euch fragt, springen kann ich nicht, sonst würde ich das ja tun.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Nightshark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Okay. Dann sprechen wir den Code halt mal rein. Weil geht sowieso nicht anders weiter. Was mich ein bisschen irritiert hat, ist das Bild mit dem Panther da hinten. Ja, ist gut. Ja, nicht schon wieder.
Nightshark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Ja, nicht schon wieder schimpfen. Okay, wie mache ich das?
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Ja.
You didn't mishear me, did you?
Nein.
Please speak the code into the receiver.
Ich kann nicht
Otherwise we
speaken.
can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Ich klick doch, aber geht doch nicht.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way?
Nein,
So
konnte ich
speak.
nicht.
Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
What?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Holy? Was ist denn?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The
I need
End?
you to walk through the door.
Hä?
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The
What?
story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything.
Sorry, aber ich bin gerade, ich weiß gerade, hä? Wie jetzt?
The story needs it.
Okay, das Spiel scheint komplett vorbei zu sein, weil es laufen die Endcredits.
Are you there?
Aber ich konnte ja gar nicht in
Stanley, are you there?
diesen Automat sprechen.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay, I can wait.
Theoretisch ist wahrscheinlich das Spiel jetzt vorbei, weil ich zweimal nicht das getan habe, was der Game Designer mir gesagt hat und deswegen das Spiel jetzt komplett abgebrochen hat. Aber ich kann doch gar nicht weiter.
What's the right thing to do?
War das das ganze Spiel? Ich meine, war das Absicht? Geht das jetzt weiter? Ich habe keine Ahnung. What? Okay. Optionen. Gab es vielleicht irgendwie eine Taste, die ich hätte drücken müssen? Use Items, Buttons, Machines. Maus 1. Nö. Nö. Ich habe eigentlich... Nö. Taste übersehen habe ich nicht. Nur Kriechen habe ich nicht herausgefunden, aber alles andere. So. Ja, scheinbar nochmal ganz von vorne, weil... Ich habe das Spiel des Entwicklers zerstört. So, und jetzt ist er böse und keine Ahnung. So. Gut. Spielen wir also nochmal. Wir machen jetzt exakt das, was von mir verlangt wird. Anders geht's ja nicht. Und die linke Tür. Ja, ja. So. Ja, linke Tür. Jetzt alles gut?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Schaut mal, jetzt hätte ich theoretisch die Möglichkeit runterzugehen. Weil noch weiß das Spiel nicht, dass ich kein echter Mensch bin. Deswegen bietet es mir die Möglichkeit an, runterzugehen. Wenn ich jetzt... Oh ja, was passiert denn, wenn ich hier runtergehe? Dann werde ich bestimmt wieder angemeckert. Ganz bestimmt. Aber das Anmeckern geht mir eigentlich auf den Sack.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Stimmt.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Stimmt.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Stimmt.
Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
What the fuck?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Was?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Sorry, dass ich jetzt so lange geschwiegen habe. Aber wie gesagt, über eine Sprachausgabe möchte ich nicht drüber quatschen. Das war jetzt so viel, das kann ich gar nicht alles zusammenfassen. Unterm Strich, ich habe erneut nicht das getan, was das Spiel von mir verlangt. Daraufhin wurde ich erneut quasi bestraft und das Spiel ist erneut vorbei gewesen. Diesmal ein bisschen dramatischer als vorher. Okay. Ja. Verwirrt bin ich. Klar, ich könnte immer jetzt das tun, was das Spiel von mir verlangt, aber dann würde ich diese ganzen Sachen ja nicht erleben. Ah. Okay. Das, ja. Er hat ein bisschen was wirklich von einem Mindfuck, wie ich das vorhin so sagte. Gut. Dann haben wir auch hier das zweite falsche Ende jetzt erlebt und können hiermit auch schön die Folge abschließen. Dann seid doch beim nächsten Mal dabei, bei Folge 3. Mal gucken, wie ich das Spiel dann wieder zerstöre. Vielen Dank für eure Aufmerksamkeit. Sagt euer Amano. Ciao, ciao.